Yeah, my question is directed to Chris, just playing devil's advocate here. One thing I do hear a lot from many atheists, or might be a very basic question, but what I do hear is that how do we know through the hundreds of years that the Bible has been out, the facts or the stories that are in the Bible haven't been skewed through time to something that is not as accurate as we may believe for it to be?
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good question. As I mentioned before, our friend J. Warner Wallace, when he investigates the Gospels, he applies the chain of custody to the Gospel accounts. For example, when a forensic detective, right, he will show up at a crime scene, you get the evidence, right, and then you have to log it, then you have to file it, and every time that then another person comes and looks at it, examines it, they then have to log and file it all the way until the court case, right? And then that's where you have a chain of custody, where you look every single thing that happened to the piece of evidence. Now, do we have that with the gospel accounts? Yes, we do. You're able to track, for example, with the Gospel of John, you're then able to track the chain of custody from his disciple to the disciple of his disciple to the disciple of his disciple, all the way until, the council where they made canon the New Testament, right, and the Bible, of what books are in there and what exactly do we choose as a canon book or not. And so up until then, in those 300 years, I believe, give or take, you're able to see exactly what the Gospels look like all the way until that moment. And then we're able to see that they were original from when they were first written all the way until they were established, and then they were mass-produced and then shipped out throughout the world. So do we see that the claims were tampered with? No, we don't. They were what we have now today as a New Testament is the same original from the first one. Sure.
The other interesting thing is that, think about the Jewish culture when it came to the texts, is that they're very specific on the arrangement of words, the spaces between words, pages literally looking exactly the same. You start the same word up here, you finish the same word over here. They count the spaces. That these scribes would literally count the amount of words on each scroll just to make sure that it lined up. So they were very specific, and so much so that if they just got one thing wrong, they would burn the whole thing and start all over. Another interesting thing is you don't actually need the whole New Testament or the Bible as a whole in order to get the Christian message, because it is all contained within an early church creed that we find in Acts 15. And that's actually been dated by non-Christian sources as being dated to just within months of Jesus' supposed resurrection. So if you throw out the whole New Testament, you still get the Christian message.
Yeah. Oh, and then also to piggyback off of the extra biblical sources, you look at everything that they said, and you put that together, you get the same account of one of the Gospels. So, and either way you want to look at it, maybe not the Gospels, but maybe extra biblical sources, you still can reconstruct the whole New Testament based off of what extra biblical sources did. And J. Warner Wallace, when he writes his book, Person of Interest, you can reconstruct the New Testament by how the culture was formed. And maybe we can get into this later, but the scientific revolution, the fathers of the scientific revolution wrote more in their journals more than the church fathers did. And you look at the scientific fathers of the scientific revolution, and you're still able to reconstruct every single thing of the New Testament. And that's really awesome, right? Because there's nothing like it.